Hi, Deirdre here. I'm just going to show you how you can do some targeting within Facebook advertising. So I've gone into business.facebook.com/ads manager and then created a new ad, and I've just given it a name, Target Wedding. So I've just jumped straight to the targeting section. So in terms of location, I'm just going to click on edit here for location. You can do a country if you want to, or I can get rid of that. So if I click on search location, and for example, if I typed in, for example, Killybegs, okay, and you can see Killybegs Seafood Shack, Killybegs Harbour, Killybegs Manor, Killybegs, Donegal, Ireland. So I could choose that as a location. And here you can see I can choose a particular radius within it, and it can give you some very strong. Now you can choose, you could add in another location. So for example, I could put in Cavan as well. Okay, so Cavan, Ireland. Okay, and we could also include, so you can have multiple locations that you can add to your targeting in terms of geographic areas, and you can be very specific. Okay, so age, you could decide what age you wanted to do, and if you click on edit, you could decide what age you wanted. For example, 20 to 50, you could decide. Genders, you could do, men or women. If you think, for example, on the wedding side, you might want to go directly after women, or you might want to go after men, or what you could do is have one ad for women and a separate ad for men is another possibility. Okay, so detailed all the demographics, interests and behaviours. So let's take a look at what's in there. You could search for specific things, but just to see all the different categories, I'm going to click on Browse in here. So for example, you've got demographics, interests and behaviours, and if I click on demographics, you can see within demographics, you've got things like education, financial, life events, parents, relationship, work, etc. And then when you click into, for example, education, you've got education level, fields of study, schools and universities, undergrad years. So here is really where you're connecting in with your persona. You've worked out who is your persona, who is the ideal customer, and what sort of education do they have. In terms of financial, what sort of income they have. Now, again, Cambridge Analytica put a stop to some of this, and you're not able to target as closely, but it's sort of based on sort of areas they know which are more affluent than others. So it's based on where they live and how affluent those areas are. So things like life events, anniversaries, date of birth, away from the family. So you could, for example, date of birth, month of birth, upcoming birthday, they've got an upcoming birthday, etc. Friends of, friends of men with birthdays in the next 7 days, etc. So these are the sort of things that you can go through. Newlywed, new job, parents, all parents, parents with children aged whatever, you can really do an awful lot of zoning in here. Again, it's all based on knowing your customer and really having a clear image of who your persona is. Relationship status, complicated, divorce, single, in a relationship, etc. Work, employers, different stuff. So interests then, let's take a look at the next category. So we've looked at demographics, now we're taking a look at interests. Business and industry, and then there's different ones in there. Entertainment, films, music, different, it could be country and western you're going after or whatever. Family and relationships, they're dating, etc. Food and drink, alcoholic drink, beer, distilled wine, and really, really very, very zoned in. Now, you have to be careful, because if you zone in too far, over here you've got the audience definition gauge, and this at the moment, the way I have it set, is likely has a potential reach of reaching 43,000 people. But the more subcategories I choose, for example, if I take coffee, you can see it's now down to 22,000. Okay, and the more things you choose, the fewer potential people that you could actually reach. So hobbies and activities, arts and music, acting, crafts, drawing, drums, etc. politics and social, charity and causes, law, travel, adventure travel, air travel, beaches, car rental, cruises, ecotourism, holidays, hotels, all of these things in here. So again, how does Facebook know if somebody has an interest in, for example, mountains? So what it's saying here is people who have expressed an interest in or like pages relating to mountains. Okay, so they do have some sort of connection with that. Other things here in under sports and outdoors, you've got outdoor recreation, whether they're interested in boating, camping, fishing, horseback riding, hunting, mountain biking, surfing, etc. Other sports, golf, etc. That again, it might be very interesting for you and your hotel, and a good way to zone in on people that might be a good persona, a good match with your hotel. So the next section then is behaviours. Okay, so we've seen demographics, we've seen interests, and now it's behaviours. So again, this can be broken down further. Anniversary within the next 61 to 90 days. Different consumer classification, digital activities, Facebook payments, which different ones they have, mobile device user, which one they're using, etc. So when you go down to travel is quite an interesting section in here in behaviours. So travel, whether they're commuters, frequent international travellers, frequent travellers, returned from travelling 1 week ago, returned from travelling 2 weeks ago. So again, you could have a very zoned in advertising campaign aimed at people who are just back from their holidays and hoping to book another one, etc. So the next thing you can set are the connections. Connection types, let's click in here. And you could, for example, include only people who like your page, or friends of people who like your page, or actually there's no point advertising to people who already like your page. It might be you want to exclude those people. Again, the same is true if you have an app. And the same is true if you've got an event. So people who've responded to your event, exclude people who've already responded to your event. And then you've got some advanced combinations of the above. So that's us finished looking at sort of, I suppose, what we could describe as cold audience or creating an audience from scratch. The next thing we're going to take a look at are the other methods of sort of using sort of warm or audiences that have other options of targeting. So the two areas we're going to take a look at are lookalike audiences and custom audiences. And custom audiences are really dealing with people who have already interacted with your business in some format already.